It's Cyber Monday, so for the next few days, everything in the store is 40% off. Just use code PLASTIC at checkout. Love you. Hey, Guy from New Plastic, and today we'll further explore Redshift's procedural powers and make a fully procedural wood material. I added a whole new pack of procedural wood materials specifically for Redshift, with like 16 different wood materials, fully procedural, infinitely tileable, beautifully made. If you feel like you need it, feel free to buy it from my New Plastic Gumroad. It's a great way to support the channel. Another way to support the channel is by buying prints and pins I made on the Pink Eye Gumroad, so check that out as well. And of course, consider supporting on Patreon or membership, where you can get access to these project files, watch these videos with no ads, get free products from the store, and other cool perks, but mostly help me make more and better content for y'all. Follow me on Instagram at ojang or the channel at Brand New Plastic. Join our Discord, subscribe, listen to Sophie. Let's go. Okay, so I have this little quick sculpture I made here. I've been making a ton of these lately just to kind of practice just abstract compositions and form study and whatever. I also have this large area light coming from the right and an HDRI for some ambient and some slight fill light. Okay, let's add a standard material, and I rearranged the windows just so we can see better what we're doing. Let's add a max and noise. Scale it way up. Add some stretching. And okay, before we do anything else, let's create the rings. So let's plug the noise into a modulo node through a multiply node. Right now the modulo node is black, but if we start increasing the multiply node, we're getting rings. I'm not going to go too much into the math here, mainly because I don't really know enough to explain it, but essentially what's happening is when we plug the noise into the multiply node, we're literally multiplying the values of the noise. So even though the noise still looks just black and white, the numbers can change from 0 to 10 or 100 or 500 and even down to negatives. Now, when we plug those multiplied ranges of numbers into the modulo node, the modulo breaks that range into sets of 0 to 1s. So if we have a 0 to 1 range multiplied by 50, so it's now a 0 to 50, putting it in a modulo of 1 will break the 0 to 50 into 50 ranges of 0 to 1. Modulo of 2 will break the 0 to 50 into 25 ranges of 0 to 1. Modulo of 50 won't have any effect because it'll just break the 0 to 50 into one range of 0 to 1. So yeah, this way by changing the multiply and the modulo values, we can get different rings. And of course by editing the noise too. So let's bring the octaves down just a bit, bring brightness down a bit. Let's plug everything to a ramp node and also to a color layer node. And let's turn off layer 1 for now. Let's invert this gradient, and we can also increase the noise amount in the ramp node to introduce more subtle mini rings. Upping the frequency will make them more fine and dense. Cool. Let's add another max on noise to layer 1. Scale it up, stretch it, choke the blacks, maybe up the brightness and contrast a bit. Let's change the noise type to FBM and reduce the detail a little bit. Okay, let's enable layer 1 and change blend mode to add and bring down opacity a bit. Cool. Let's plug the modulo into another ramp. And plug it into layer 2. Choke the whites. Add a little noise. Enable layer 2 and change to multiply blend and lower opacity a bit. So I basically added a little soft transition on the opposite side of the previous gradient, which had really sharp transition from black to white, too sharp to feel like real wood. Okay, add another ramp and plug the main noise into it and into layer 3. Enable the layer and change blend mode to subtract. Invert gradient and add a few different gray notches. This will just add some overall subtle variety to the pattern. Okay, cool. Let's add some pores and imperfections now. Plug this color layer into another color layer. And just to clean up our node setup, let's select all these nodes, right click and group to scaffold, which will add this colored border around all of them. And we can name it and change the color. Okay, let's add a max on noise. Plug it into layer 1. Change type to displaced Voronoi. Stretch it a whole lot. Choke the low and high clip. Bring gain down. Okay, let's enable layer 1 and change blend mode to multiply. And just bring down opacity a bit. Cool, let's duplicate this noise. Plug to layer 2. Scale it down. And make it less stretchy. So this will be kind of like those pores that on the end grain are round, but on the other sides are more thin lines. Let's up the cycles to choke them even more and bring brightness down a bit. Cool. Let's change blend mode to multiply and bring opacity down so you can see them kind of layered on top of everything nicely. Let's duplicate this noise again, plug to layer 3, change type to FBM and scale it up slightly. Make it a bit less stretchy. Flip the low and high clip to invert it. Play with the brightness and contrast to get something a bit less harsh. Up the details here. Change blend mode to average, so it's kind of breaking up both the black and white parts underneath. Okay, let's scaffold all these into a pores group. Give it a color. And let's plug this color layer into a ramp node and give this some color. Here you can really add any color you want. Tiny changes in color will actually have a big effect on the overall look. So feel free to play with the different colors and different positions of the notches. Again, the smallest changes will have bigger effect than you'd expect. And I'll duplicate this ramp and change up the colors. A lot of woods have large areas that are discolored, or in some cedar woods, which is kind of what I'm going for here. They have this pinkish hue to them, so that's what I'll do here. But again, the options are endless, whether you're going for natural wood colors or stained woods. Okay, let's see how this is looking. Oh yeah, that's nice. Let's add some details to the material. So I'll plug this color layer to the roughness channel using a ramp node. Invert the notches and make the whole thing just on the brighter side, so it's really rough. But you can see that because we used a whole ring system here, we're getting different glossiness on the darker rings than on the lighter rings, which is great. Plug the color layer into another ramp and into the bump channel using a bump node. Way too strong now, so bring down the bump height. I mean, that's nice, but even less height. Okay, nice. Let's mix the two color ramps together, so I'll add a max on noise and use it to mix between the two ramps using a color mix node. You can leave the noise really small like this, but here I'll scale up the noise and really choke it so I get these large separated colored areas. Okay, nice. And look, since this whole thing is procedural, I can go back and, for example, change the original noise type to wavy turbulence and get a whole different look. I like this actually. Let's keep playing around here. I want to break the whole thing up with even more details. Maybe change this blend mode to average so it'll affect the black areas as well. Not bad. Bring in some of the light color notches. Yeah, we can up the opacity on this a bit. Maybe introduce a slightly darker notch at the very end. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Not very cedar-y, but that's okay. I mean, yeah, this is really awesome. I absolutely love how it looks. Let's duplicate the roughness ramp, invert it, and plug it into the reflection weight channel. And maybe make it a bit brighter, so we're introducing some variety to the specular channel as well. Maybe add some contrast to the roughness gradient. And actually, if we want it to feel polished, for example, I can add another max on noise with a ramp node and plug it into the coat roughness channel. Up the coat weight. And now I can play with the noise values to add another layer of gloss on top of everything that's not only going to mimic a polished look, but can just add another subtle complexity to the reflections on the surface, depending on the look of the noise and the ramp values. I can also duplicate the bump node with the same ramp and plug it into the coat bump channel, but with a much lower height. Again, just to add some subtle variation to the coat channel. Yeah, I really love it. And now I can duplicate this material and just keep experimenting to get different looks. But using this exact method with some variations to it is how I got all these different wood textures in the wood pack. There's a lot you can do with this. So yeah, I hope you learned something. I love that we're slowly exploring Redshift's procedural capabilities. It has its flaws and is a bit less capable than Octane, but as you can see, you can still get a lot with just a little bit of node stacking and creative thinking. Get the procedural wood pack on my Gumroad, check out the prints and pins on my other Gumroad, and consider supporting on Patreon or membership to get access to these project files, because you know I wouldn't have been able to make these videos without the help of my glorious patrons and members you see on the screen right now. I love you. Have a great day. Peace.